Okay, so now we got a set of equations, and we're supposed to be finding the solution to this, but unfortunately we can't graph it. Yikes. Okay, so tell me what you know about the red equation.
M is 9/1. And B equals 5.
Thank you. Okay, and what do we know about the blue equation?
M equals 5/1.
And?
B equals -7.
B equals -7. Okay, so now, looking at those, what can you tell me about those two lines?
They have different M.
Okay, so we have different M, and what does M stand for? What is M?
Slope.
Okay, so if we have different M's or slopes, what does that mean?
That they intersect.
Okay. And our job is to figure out where they intersect at. So this is where we're going to put our answer. Okay, so we have to come up with some points and try this, and we don't have a graph to go on or anything. So we're going to have to keep track of some stuff. So let's first set up our first one. So what are we going to write down for the first equation? That's where we'll put our y, and that's going to have to equal
9 plus 5.
times whatever our x is, and then we're going to add 5 to that. Okay, and then for our blue equation, what are we going to write?
5 times whatever x is, -7.
Right, -7. Okay, good. And then we're going to keep track of our x's and y's here. And as the numbers, as two lines cross, they get closer together at that point, and as they are farther away from each other, then we know that they're not going to be crossing in that direction. So let's try the easiest one possible, and we'll compare it. So first let's take x being -2. Okay? So if x is -2, that's 9 times -2 plus 5. So what is 9 times 2?
18.
-18. So now we right. So now we have -18, and we have +5. So that's -18 and +5, and that gives us a -13. Okay. And then the next one, so we're going to use the same x, so we have -2. So let's 5 times -2, what is that?
10.
-10, and then we also have, and go 7 more in the minus direction. So we get to -17. So we have -13 and -17. Now let's try, so is that a solution?
No.
Correct. Okay, so do you know what we're looking for in the solution? We're looking for the same y value. Okay, so let's try 0. So that's, what does this one become?
14.
9 times 0. What's 9 times 0?
0.
Okay, and 0 and 5?
5.
Good. Okay, and then we have 5 times 0?
0.
Okay, and then -7?
-7.
All right, so now we have this. So now we have a 5 and a -7. So my question is, are the numbers getting closer or are they getting farther apart?
Closer.
Okay, let's look at it. What's the difference between -13 and -17?
4.
Okay, what's the difference between +5 and -7?
2.
Really? There's +5, there's -7, and there's 0 in between. So how far is this? We know that's 5. We know that's going to be 7. So how far apart are 5 and -7? They're 12 apart. So is that more than 4?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're not. So are we getting farther apart or closer together if we start heading into the positive direction?
Positive.
Correct. So that means we have to go negative. So if negative 2 doesn't, so we got to put a star here. Okay, so we want to go with our next one, be negative 3. Okay, so let's give that one a shot. Okay, so now we have negative 3. So right now we have 9 times negative 3, which is what?
27.
27 positive or negative?
Positive.
Okay, so a positive number times a negative number. That's 9 times negative 3. What is 9 times negative 3?
Negative 27.
Okay, so we have negative 27 and positive 5. What's the answer? Okay, so did you figure it out? What's negative 27 and positive 5?
It's negative 22.
Okay, good. Now, don't forget we got the next one. So now we have 5 times negative 3. Okay, and then minus 7. So what is 5 times negative 3?
Negative 15.
Okay, and then minus 7?
Negative 22.
Negative 22. Okay, so what did we just notice? So in equation 1, we have negative 3. We got negative 22. Okay, that's for the red one. And then when we put in negative 3 into the blue one, we also got negative 22. So what does that mean?
That they touch at the negative 3.
A louder, please.
See that?
What does that actually mean?
That they touch at the negative 3. Negative 22.
Correct. They touch at negative 3, negative 22. And that means that they intersect at negative 3, negative 22, which also means that this is our solution. Got it? Okay? Okay?
Yeah.
All right.